Okay, so this is like the third entry, and I'm about ready to go out for the first time in Madrid tonight. So hopefully the nightlife is better than the food, because right now I'm sort of starving because all I feel like I can eat is yogurt and this really strange vegetable spread that like I guess it's sort of like mayonnaise and a lot of random vegetables all smushed together. And I put that on a sandwich with like some of those like little hard breadstick things. This entry was originally supposed to be about telephones here. That's going to have to wait. So stay tuned for that. But I'm going out tonight. I'm leaving probably in about a half hour. The subway stop at 2 is 12:34 right now, and they start again at 6. So if I want to come home earlier than 6, I have to take a buho, which is like a night bus, and I have no idea how they run. So it'll be an adventure, especially if I try to come home before 6 o'clock. So I guess it's partying all night long tonight. So what else? Really quick update about the apartment. The apartment's totally fine. It's actually pretty nice, especially compared to the situations I've been living in New York for the last year, where I haven't really felt like I had a real apartment. First that weird, strange Catholic house where I just had a room and a lot of weird neighbors, and a horrible cockroach infestation. And then living with Phil, which was a challenge, as it would be for anyone trying to share a really tiny studio with someone else. And then at Bob's, and even though it was really great to stay at Bob's, it never really was my apartment, and I never was really fully moved in there and comfortable. So I'm hoping that happens here. Anyway, to pregame tonight, I'm drinking this big thing of beer, which is a brand I've never heard of till I came here, and it's everywhere here, and it tastes pretty tasty. And also some vodka. Is there anything really else to say? Probably not. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm really excited to go out tonight, and stay tuned for a whole entry about telephones and how you should never, ever, ever, unless you're in a life or death situation, use your credit card in a public telephone. Never. Okay, so this is the aftershock. I am home now. It is now 7 o'clock in Madrid time. I left at 1 o'clock. A couple important lessons I learned tonight. First, the subways close at 2, and they don't care if you're in the middle of your route. They just close. So you can end up stranded if you leave as late from this area as 1:15, which is what happened. I got on La Avenida de la Ilustración, which is my stop, and I went down to, I think it's Guzman el Bueno, to transfer to another train. I got on that train. When I was transferring to the last train of 3, the trains had stopped. So I was stranded. A woman in the subway who worked for the metro told me to get on El Autobús Línea Uno, and I got on it. It actually took me farther away than where I wanted to go, and then I had to pay for a taxi to get down to the club, which was 10 euros, which is maybe $13 American. I was not happy about it. And then when I met up with my one person that I've met here in Madrid, actually I've met maybe 3, but this is the one I know the best. Hey Danny, shout out to Danny, hey, who's actually helped me extremely in acclimating to Madrid. He even went with me to the office of my living situation to help sort that out, and made some phone calls for me because some people couldn't understand my accent or something. So anyway, shout out to Danny. So I met up with him down there, and we tried to find on the ground another like flyer so that way I could get a discounted price. That didn't happen. I was a little bit more upset about it because I thought it meant that if I didn't have the flyer, I would have to pay 15 euros to enter and then not get a drink ticket. But apparently it just means you have to pay, you pay 15 euros and you get a drink ticket versus paying 12 euros and paying a drink ticket. And that's fine. Like, I could pay 3 extra euros and not have to like search the ground, for a flyer. But we tried for like about 10 or 15 minutes and it wasn't very successful, so we went in. By this point, I was actually in a pretty bad mood because, as some of you know, my funds are pretty limited here until the 15th because my loan doesn't come in until the 15th, so my money is very limited until then. Forgive me, if I'm like sort of repeating myself 3 times before I move on to another topic because I'm a little drunk, not a whole bunch, but a little bit. So anyway, we get to the club. He introduces me to some of his friends. I'm not in a happy mood, but 2 drinks later, I'm pretty fine, and we dance. And as I said, the subway's closed, so we basically have to hang out and kill time until 6 o'clock, which is when they open again. So we walked close to his house, and by the time we got to a stop that would take me directly home, it had turned 6 o'clock, so I went ahead and got on it. Because unlike the subways in New York, the subways in Madrid don't run up and down. Some of them run sort of like weird, like they go down and over and then back up again, and mine is one of those, so it doesn't go all the way down. I have to transfer to another train to get to pretty much anything interesting. So I walked up to La Linea Sept, which is my line, and got on it and got home, and here I am now. So it was a night that started out really rough. I sort of spent a little bit more money than I wanted to because not only did I pay for the subway that didn't really take me there, I also paid to get on a bus that didn't really take me there, and then I paid sort of what I consider an expensive cab ride down to the club. So I'm definitely staying in for a couple days to help recoup that. Fortunately, I bought a 10 pass subway card, so my transportation's taken care of. I have some more money left on my credit card, so I can definitely pay for food if I run out for any. So nothing's really serious. I just definitely need to stay in for a couple days, and that's totally fine. But yeah, hard lessons learned. If I'm going to go out, I definitely need to leave by 1 o'clock, possibly even a little bit earlier than that, to make sure that I make all my transfers. But overall, it was a very good night. Madrid people stay out really late because even while we were walking back at 5:30 in the morning, there were people still sort of just hanging out on the streets and drinking because there's these Chinese people who sort of roam the city with giant suitcases and sell soda, and if you ask them, some beer as well. So that's always nice. So, is there anything else to recap from tonight? That's probably it. The club itself was packed. It was also very small. It was one floor. It had lots of crazy lights going on. Played lots of good music though. Lots of Lady Gaga, which I can't complain. I was a little surprised that I got 5 Lady Gaga songs in a night. I'm not complaining about it. I just think it's a little weird. I'm surprised that there's not other people to play. And I think that's it. So overall, I would rate my night out a 5 out of 10. Sort of midway. But that's including the fact that I made like a whole bunch of mistakes, I guess. Maybe next time it'll be better, but it'll probably be like at least a week before I go out again. I think I'm going to try to hit up some museums in the future. If they let me bring in my camera and record, maybe I'll do a little teeny tiny quiet mouthed update in the museum. Otherwise, my next entry will be about how telephone booths in Madrid are robbery. Do you understand me? They are robbery. Don't use them. Just try to avoid them. Or if you're going to use them, use a telephone card. Okay.